Kids, today's video is called You're Gay, Now What? Now, for many people, coming out of the closet, recognizing that you're homosexual is a difficult challenge. It poses a challenge on many different levels. Whether you're 17 or 70, coming out is never an easy process. Some can be much more traumatic than others, and others seem to be much less traumatic. It depends on family and friends, where you live, etc., etc. A couple common things that happen when you come out as being gay, depending on where you live also, is that your religion or your religious norms in your country will shun you, sometimes severely. I know that happens in Islam, it happens in Christianity, it happens in Judaism, it happens in Mormonism, etc., etc., etc. So the list goes on and on and on. You have a lot on your plate when you come out. And then, besides learning to deal with yourself and your new life, if you decide to become gay, not just homosexual, but gay, then you have all these lessons you need to learn, because gay is not just a sexuality. Gay can also be a lifestyle, and gay can be an art form. I mean, being a true queen takes practice, lots of it. Being a true gay guy takes practice and lots of it. And being put in and moving into a homosexual lifestyle takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience and a lot of Valium. Because homosexual men can be just ridiculous sometimes. I mean, let's be honest. There's nothing perfect, and there's no grass greener on the other side. Gay men and gay women can be totally annoying, just like anybody else. Now, the premise is this. Now, I'll use myself as an example. When I came out, way back in the 80s, when it still was kind of very, very, very taboo, my parents did not deal with it well. So they put me in an institution when I was 17 to fix me. And what popped out at the age of 17 and a half was a very well-adjusted, very angry, very militant homosexual, and a fag with a mission. And I was on that mission for many years. It was, hi, I'm gay, and my name is Michael. If you have a problem with it, go screw yourself. That's kind of how I introduced myself to everyone. Now, being a larger guy at 6'2" and a half, playing football, being a jock, all that kind of stuff, I didn't get messed with that much. And when I did, you only have to fight a few times and kick somebody's ass before word gets around and nobody screws with you. I had self-esteem issues. I did the whole, club kid thing. I did drag. I did comedy drag for several years. And I found myself. And that militant gay, though, stayed with me, and it stayed with me through probably close to the end of my 20s. And finally, I decided that there was more to life than just being a militant gay person. Now, I had found my first career, my first love after drag, which was my childhood dream, and I went and worked in the airline industry. So I was more than just a gay person. I had a job. I had no spirituality. I was angry at all gods and everything to do with spirituality, because all I saw was hate and ridiculousness out of anything they called religion or spirituality. But in my 30s, I found my spirituality. And that was a huge burden lifted off me. Now, I'm still not religious, and I still don't like religion. I think it's useless. You don't need anybody else to tell you how to think. God didn't make rules. Man makes rules. So a lot of the crap that religion tries to stuff down your throat, I just don't buy at all. I don't buy it. Now, now I'm still gay. I still have a job. I found my spirituality. I've had relationships. So I've been a drag queen. I've lived in the gay lifestyle. I even lived in a gay ghetto area for a while. You know, the famous gay ghettos are like Castro and Wilton Manors and Fort Lauderdale and, you know, etc., Palm Springs and all that kind of stuff. So I got all my gay on. I had everything worked out. I've gone from drag queen to leather daddy bear to, you know, whatever you know, jock to bear, twink to now I'm an old geezer. So I have my gay established. And then you move on. Now, I was given gifts at the age of 9 for being a sensitive and an intuitive. And I didn't use those gifts for a long time until I changed and got into my second dream, which was to become a massage therapist, a spiritual healer, and a Reiki master. And when I became all those, I tuned back into those gifts. And that allowed me to focus on those for several years. And I focused on that for several years, perfecting it just like I had been perfecting being gay. And so I was kind of stuck in that mode of this is what I'm talking about, this is where I'm at right now. Now as life progresses, I've changed. I'm now retired and perfectly happy with my retirement. And I have lots of experiences under my belt, both in travel and in life and everything. I mean, I've been a truck driver, a massage therapist, an airline worker, an insurance claim adjuster, you name it. I've done it. I've done it all. I drove a truck 48 states in Canada. It was wonderful. But I didn't just drive as a gay man or a gay spiritual man or something like that. I was a truck driver. There's more to life than just your sexuality or just being gay or just being your job or just being your spirituality or just being whatever. You have to be multidimensional. Now, I see a lot, let's say, here on YouTube, here on Facebook, which is where I'm really active. You get to meet these people that you don't know, but they seem like they're a 1, 2, or 3 trick pony. Like they're so focused on what they're doing and what they're into that the rest of their life, like nothing else exists. They just have these blinders on. Now, if you're going to be gay and you're going to live a gay lifestyle and just be gay, there's only so many people that can fit into that. In other words, unless you're becoming, if you're a go-go boy, you could be a go-go boy, but at some point you're going to have to retire because you're no longer a boy. And you could be a go-go man, but at some point they're going to retire you anyway, because that's just life. Being a cross-dresser or being a drag queen can be a lifelong thing, as long as you can keep it up. But it's rough and it's tough. And it's not an easy industry to get into, and it's not an easy industry to live in. There's a lot of pressure. You can do something like Davey Wavy does, which is he does videos on being gay all the time. But there's only so many. There's only so much room for so many Davey Wavies, so many drag queens and stuff like that. Now, unless you're one of those special people, you have to have a life outside of being gay. You have to be something. Even if you own a gay bar or a gay restaurant, first and foremost, if you want the business to succeed, you've got to own a bar or a restaurant. Whether you have a clique gay clientele is a whole different matter. But if you don't know how to run a bar or a nightclub or a restaurant or a hair salon or a decorating business or whatever it is, even if you're, combing after the gay clientele, you still have to run your business first. So that still means that comes first before being gay. Don't let gay get in your way, is what the message is. Now that you're gay, now that you've come out, now that you're working through your issues, look more broadly. Remember, things like politics become very, very important, not only to you, but to those after you. So, for example, things that I was fighting for, and my granddaddy gays were fighting for, and my daddy gays were fighting for back in the 80s are now coming true. And one of the things that the granddaddy gays, where they started this fight, was they wanted just to be treated equally and not harassed. And that has been a mantra. But in order to get there, we had to all come together and make these like gay ghettos and stuff, because there's power in numbers. And that's why gay bars became such popular places, because that's where they could safely meet and greet and make a community. Was not the healthiest lifestyle we could have chosen, but that's what the gays chose to do. Now we have some normalcy, and the biggest thing that's going to change in the next 4 or 5 years, now that Don't Ask, Don't Tell has been repealed and gays are in the military, gays are going to be seen more mainstream and more mainstream by younger generations that have to deal with them on a daily basis and realize it's not a big deal. So dinosaurs like me that just lived this gay life, at some point we have to like shut it down. We don't want to make the mistake of what happened with like the Black equality movement. The Black equality movement became separate but equal, and then it took them a while to like disengage from separate and just become equal. And that's still a process. We as gays have got to stop that too. We've got to stop we've got to start weaning ourselves off the gay ghettos and weaning ourselves off being these magical, mystical creatures filled with glitter and tinsel and everything else, and just learn to be normal. Because that's what we've been fighting for. We haven't been fighting to be special but equal. We've been fighting to be equal. Period. And how do we get there? And I'd love to hear your ideas on how we get there. Have a good day.